Cool Hand Podcast, something you got to deal with. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host. My name is Q. We have a special guest in the building coming from the DMV area. I'll let him specify the D, the M, or the V. Guest, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, sir. What's going on? I appreciate you having me, Q. My name is Sean D. Brown from the Northern Virginia area. I'm a hip hop artist, just up and coming, just doing it as a hobby, something fun.
Virginia in the building. Welcome. Welcome to the show. Thank you
Appreciate
for
it.
making yourself available to do this.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Sean, I feel like we've been following each other on Instagram for a while, like a long while.
Yeah, no, most
So-
definitely.
And you're a little mysterious, so it's not like you're like I'm seeing your face all the time. Like you're not posting stories all the time and posts. So that's why I'm like, it feels like it's been a very long time. But
Yes,
so
sir.
we're making it happen. So hip hop artists, I was exercising a little bit earlier. I was out there on the track and I was listening to your music. Most notably the most recent one. So you recently dropped something called Face Your Fears.
Yes, sir.
But and you be putting these bars together, my brother.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Something like.
So let's just get to know you. But because you've been doing music for a little bit, so what are your origins in music and hip hop and just music in general?
Sheesh, I mean, definitely a super long story, but I'll try to make it a little short. Definitely just been a fan of hip hop just about my entire life. So you know, like our generation and everything, our parents was playing it, and like the older school hip hop and everything. And I've always just been a fan from day one. It's like a lot of the older artists and a lot of new artists as well from our generation. Just love hip hop, love R&B, just a music head, just in general. I can't really sing too well, so to kind of get into the music thing, I decided I wanted to rap. It was a little easier for me than, trying to get my vocals right and everything. So it's been rhyming since I was young, and I sucked at first. My grandmother gave me an MP3 player when I was about 9, and I would just do recordings on there, rapping, singing a little bit. And then from there, I would just always try to record myself until I became an adult and I was able to take it a little more seriously than when I was younger.
Got you. And so coming up, who were some of the artists that you were listening to that kind of made you think maybe I could, maybe I could rap?
Definitely J. Cole's probably the biggest inspiration. I was like a regular guy, seen his story coming from North Carolina, moving to New York, being able to get a record deal, without really talking about a certain subject matter that was popular. A little bit before him, like the gangster rap and everything. He wasn't really in that lane. He was just, I felt like his music was very honest. He opened his heart on his music, no matter who's judging him, no matter what. He was just, he was honest in his music. So I really appreciated that myself. I felt like I could just be honest in my music.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. When I was listening to this most recent project, I could, I heard the honesty in your music, like just showing. I heard a lot of love to your family, to your mom.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Showing a lot of love to your people, and coming up like early 2000s in the 90s, it's like you had to be like a gangster rapper, like you had to be selling drugs or catching bodies, flipping bricks and all that stuff. The more honest rappers weren't as big as the gangster rappers. So J. Cole is that's a good influence to have on you, so
100%. Exactly.
So at what age did you start kind of doing your thing?
I started 2019, honestly taking it a little more serious. I was like 22.
Okay.
I just started recording around 2019, but I put my first music out, my first project and everything, January 2019 for like some of the songs that I recorded in 2018.
Okay.
So that was when I really got started.
Got you. So about 5-6 years in on the recording side. Now,
yes, and a small hiatus in between there too.
Mm-hmm.
Where I just wasn't releasing music, wasn't really recording, it was just kind of in my own head.
Got you. Now I do want to ask you about the small hiatus, but just to get a little more history on your rapping and writing and things like that. At what age did you start putting pen to paper, doing the simple rhymes, cat, hat, bat, flat, fat, all that stuff?
I'll probably say probably fifth grade. I remember I had like a rap around the school and everything. And even back then, some people try to take my bars and try to use that same rap because I rap it so much. So I say probably back then was when I first was started to rap and rhyme and everything. But
Gotcha.
definitely was horrible when I was like
Yeah.
10.
It's always like that.
Yes,
It's
sir.
always like that. So you got to
Exactly.
start somewhere.
Right. Exactly.
So you put pen to paper, you're getting older, you're still doing your thing. 2018, 2019, you start recording a little bit. And what made you want to say, I want to put this on wax? Because everybody, some people can just rap and, rap in front of your friends. But what made you think like, you know what, let me make something out of this?
I went to the studio for the first time when I was only 16. Even in that aspect, I was just going for fun. I think I may have put some stuff out and deleted it, and I was in high school. I was definitely wasn't taking it as serious as now, but I definitely was recording back then, and I had familiarity with the studio. But 2018, when I really wanted to take it serious and really put it out, and this my first project is still on SoundCloud right now that I recorded then. I'll be hanging out with some friends and I will record like to a beat on my phone. Like I would just like use the voice memos and just have the beat in the background. And I would just rap and I was writing and I'll play for them. And they were like, man, this is good. Like, this is good. Record this and everything. I had a friend named Zach. He had a basement studio. And 2018, I started recording in there some of the stuff that I had on the voice memos and stuff. And then we just ended up putting that out in January.
Okay. Shout out to Zach, man. You got to start somewhere.
Yes, sir.
Basement
Yes, sir.
recording studio. So what do you use these days to record?
My last project, Face Your Fears, I recorded in a studio in Springfield, Virginia, called Vibe Studios. So I'm like a really professional studio. I think I had like some Grammy award winners record there and different things like that. So I record there.
Got you. Okay, so was there ever a time that you would just like record at home or, off a laptop, FL Studio type thing?
Yes, definitely. Recently, I've used like some GarageBand, but I just feel like the sound isn't as professional as I want it to be. But yeah, I've definitely still record at home and I have a microphone and everything, and I will edit on GarageBand, but I just don't think it was as professional as I wanted to.
Got you. So do you end up having to pay for studio time and all that?
Yes. It's really expensive up there too. So yeah, I'm trying to look around right now. I may explore other avenues of recording for my next project. Hopefully I can get it out in a couple months. But yeah, I may explore different studios.
Got you. So let's learn about the journey in terms of creating music and releasing it. Because do you write first and then find a beat, or do you listen to a beat? What's your beat selection process like? Take us through creating a project for yourself.
Yes, sir. It's interesting because this last project I put out, it's a lot of older recordings. I think even one song on there was recorded in 2020, like between the hiatus and everything. Probably the newer songs were recorded probably around October, November. So, and I put that out late April. So, but as far as writing and going about it, I've tried everything, but for recently, I've been really just listening to the beat, getting inspired by the beat, and then I usually just write to the beat. So I try to focus on the flow as well. I feel like some of my older songs, the flow wasn't all the way there. I was trying to fit too many bars into a pocket that may not fit in. So I definitely try to hear the beat and try to flow on the beat first, and then see if I can get some lyricism in there somewhere. So nowadays I mostly just listen to the beat, get that inspiration, and then just write to it.
Got you. Now, I think this is super important because for someone who isn't one of the Drakes, the J. Coles, the Kendricks, you don't have people just throwing beats at you all day. Do you have to go out and find it yourself? That's my assumption.
Yes, sir. Y'all gonna beat stars. sometimes
Okay.
YouTube. Yeah, I used to have producers that would send me beats and stuff in the past, but I feel like the quality of the beats like on BeatStars and stuff. Um, I feel like it's easier to write to right now.
Got you. So what's BeatStars? Because I'm not aware of that. Let an ignorant person know.
No, no worries. It's an application. Like when you think about something like a YouTube, you may get the beat and stuff. You may be able to download it right to it, but you may not necessarily have any rights or licensing. But BeatStars is an application where everything is straightforward. You can buy a beat on different for different prices for different licensing. Like, hey, if you can buy this beat and get 10,000 streams, or you can keep all the money from it or whatever. If you and I exceed that amount of streams, you can buy another license. So it's basically just something that's just more concrete when you're buying a beat and you're able to license it and put it on streaming platforms and everything. You get that licensing with it. Whereas if you just freelance and get a beat somewhere, someone could come back and say try to sue you and with BeatStars has all the licensing in there. So that's something I appreciate. But yeah, it's just an application that you can find beats on.
Got you. 100%. So, this is something important, because as you can see, for anybody watching, Sean is putting a lot into the craft. And when you're out there pretty much in the trenches, I'll call it, just, doing your thing, you're pretty much financing this by yourself. So,
Yes, sir.
so you're paying for the
Definitely.
studio time.
Yes.
You got the application, you can work things out this way, but I know you got to be, putting some money out there for the beats.
100%. Yes.
So,
Yes.
let's just talk about how financially taxing it is. And, I don't know if you're getting money out of music, but outside of getting money out of it, what do you get out of, releasing your music?
I just like to get my stuff out there. I'm not really as focused on like the money aspect, and making money and everything. I'm just doing it really for the love, right now. But yeah, I'm not really making too much money back from the music, just to be honest. But I'm not really paying attention to that aspect as well. I probably could be a little better with my business, as far as trying to make money back and everything. But right now I'm just, just enjoying it. But I do have a day job. I work as a computer technician, for the school system and everything. So yeah, I use that to kind of fund my music.
That's what's up. And I did get that from one of the songs on your project, talking about, you got a job in IT,
Yeah,
and things like that. And I want to focus, I want to use that as like a segue into, your personal life, not getting too personal, but some of the things that I was able to draw from the music. So, something that was impressive. You bought a house at what, 22 or something like that?
Yeah, my early 20s. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's get into your life and growing up. So what was life like growing up? Did you say, was it Northern Virginia or Southern Virginia?
I'm in Northern Virginia area, but still a little towards the south. Or I'm not like Arlington or Alexandria or anything. I'm a little
Gotcha.
bit south of that.
Gotcha. So what was life like growing up, family life, what you were doing as a youngin, stuff like that?
I feel like I grew up like I was like a regular kid, but and I had a single parent. But I still feel like I didn't want for anything or miss anything. My mother worked very hard every day. I was in sports. She bought me stuff if I was doing well in school and everything. I did have a rough patch in high school. Even on that same song you were talk about like I almost barely graduated high school. So that was very true. But I kind of started to turn my life around my senior year. And then after that, I was able to go to community college, get an associate's degree in information technology. And I've been working since I was in technology since I was 20.
Got you. Okay, so what was shout out to the parents too. Shout out to the mamas out there.
Yes. Shout out to all the moms, superheroes.
Yeah, 100%. Because I relate to that when I was listening to your music. I'm like, the whole mom thing, because I come from a single parent household. My pops wasn't there, so you really, as you grow up, you really appreciate what your mother was able to do on her
Right.
own, So
Right. I'm glad you could relate to that.
Oh yeah, 100%. I felt that. So tell me about the rough patch in high school. At what point did life kind of take a turn? Whether it doesn't have to be anything serious, you could just start cutting up. So tell me about that and barely getting out of high school, because I also relate to that 100.
Okay, like how things got better, how things got better. Or both?
Let's talk about both.
Okay. Sheesh, I feel like it could go back to just a single parent household. You could probably relate to like having a mom that's working. My mom worked till about 6:30 at night. I was at home by myself around that time. I had friends, I had influences, good and bad. Sometimes around those bad influences, my mom's at work. I can go outside. I get home maybe 3 p.m. from school, from 3 to 6. I can just do whatever I want outside, with the guys in the neighborhood and everything. So yeah, I feel like that influence was there, and I just didn't like school. Once I got a little older, my high school and everything, I was like, I don't really have to go to school. I could skip school. I could skip class. I feel like I could do whatever I wanted to do at that time, and that just wasn't true. I feel like I always was smart and I could do the work, but I didn't apply myself. I didn't want to do any work. I didn't like going to school. I would sleep if I would go. So I just got into a lot of bad trouble and stuff. Really almost failed the 11th grade, like barely kind of got out of it. And the senior year, I was able to graduate. Barely.
Got you. So turning that around, what did you have to do? What did you realize that you thought, all right, let me tighten up and do what I got to do?
Yeah, so my 11th grade year, I had 2 D's and like 5 F's. Or something like that. Like it was like insane. Like I had like the worst. My mom told me I had the worst grade she'd ever seen ever in life. So I was talking to the guidance counselor going into my senior year, and everyone wants to graduate. I didn't really want to get left back or anything like that. So once that time kind of came around where I was going into senior year, and they were like, "Hey, you're probably not going to graduate. You're going to have to redo a lot of these junior classes. You're going to have to double up on this. You're going to have to do all your senior classes." The only good thing is that it's probably like 2 senior classes, and seniors that's supposed to be the easy year. But for me, it was the hard year. I had to do a lot of classes over again. And I was worried. And I was like, man, my God, I only passed 2 classes last year, and I have to pass every single one this time. And I'm taking those classes again, plus senior classes. So I was worried that I wasn't going to graduate and that I would fail again. And that it would just be an embarrassment for me. For my family, everyone's like, "You graduating this year, right?" The graduation date, everyone knows in your family, when you're graduating. Yeah, so-and-so supposed to be graduating this year too, right behind your cousin or this, that, and so I gotta graduate.
Yeah.
So I just buckled down. It took a lot. I was very tired. I did a lot of work, but I was able. I think I finished with like A.B. honor roll for that senior year. Passed all my classes, graduated, and then I was like the first time I was like, man, if I really sit down and focus on something, I can really accomplish anything as long as I'm working hard.
Got you. Hey, it happens. You know what? And like I say, I'll relate to it too. I got out of high school a semester late.
Oh, yeah, that summer school?
Yeah, no, thank goodness it was only a semester late. And for full transparency, I failed the 9th grade, had to take it over.
Oh.
I did not do a lick of work. So
not really. I know how it is.
So I ended up taking things a little more seriously in 11th grade, and it's very embarrassing, especially in the moment.
Yes. For a young person too.
Yeah, like
self-esteem.
You're looked at as slow. You're looked at as stupid, and I know myself. I'm like, I'm no idiot,
right.
But I was not focused on the right things by any stretch of the imagination. But once again, that's something else I relate to. Thank goodness it was only a semester late instead of a whole year late. Because without telling people this story that I failed 9th grade, I still got out of school the year, not the semester. It was a semester later, but the year I was supposed to graduate, which was 2012. So
that's still really good then. Right. I graduated 2014.
Really? So yeah. So
them days,
struggles, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I know friends that didn't graduate at all. So it's a blessing that you was able to get out and graduate. I was able to graduate. But yeah, it takes doing that work. I didn't really know that. Thought they just let everyone graduate.
And then you look back at high school, it's like, really? Like I couldn't do no work in high school.
Right. Looking back, I definitely regret a lot of things. I would have definitely buckled down from 9th grade all the way through 12th grade and try to get the best grades I could. Because I feel like the work wasn't really hard. It was just doing the work.
Exactly. But you live and you learn. But look at yourself now. So the hiatus. Now let's get back to some music stuff.
Yeah.
Learning about your upbringing and everything. So what contributed to the hiatus, from music that you had to take? Was it a personal thing, or you just needed to get your mind right on a musical level to, to get back to what you like to do?
Yeah, I feel like it was life that just it was a lot. Like I said, I started putting out my first project 2019. I feel like things were like moving for me, in my mind state at least. But yeah, after I started um, putting out the music, putting out more songs and everything, I feel like things are going pretty well. Then you get into 2020. I started that year doing like my first like bigger show and everything in the area, and then by March everything gets shut down. I put out another project, Release, which is like I think my last project on streaming platforms and everything. That was in 2020, right after, right, I think a little bit right before the COVID hit, but I think we are kind of knowing that it was going to hit around that time. Um, so yeah, just kind of dealing with that kind of just shifted not only my focus, but the whole world's focus on, man, things could just get shut down out of nowhere. No more shows. You can barely get into a studio. Everyone's wearing a mask. Some people are losing their jobs, getting laid off. It's just a lot of like real life stuff that was going on. So I guess I was still like writing and doing music and everything, but it wasn't as serious to me at the time as like what was really going on in the world. Stuff, George Floyd, race stuff going on. So it was just a lot of different things that I was slowly just starting to realize as a man. 2021 was when I bought my house and moved in and everything. So obviously that put more expenses on me and made it tougher to pay for studios and videos and different things like that. And part of me was just starting to get discouraged after so much time passed by. Definitely get discouraged. Like, am I really doing the right thing? Should I really be trying to pursue this career in music and everything, or should I just focus and buckle down on um, taking care of my household, working? But after a while, I was doing that, and things just kind of not really got boring, but I got really complacent, and I think it made me sad. It made me depressed. Just getting up, going to work every day, working for the home, um, and without really expressing myself with my music, and not really having as much time. To really like decompress from working that schedule, working that full time schedule, trying to take care of the home and everything. So I feel like it was a point in time where I got injured and everything. I injured my arm the end of last year, and then I really started getting back into like really writing, really getting to the studio. It's just like it just made me think like anything could happen at any time, and I don't want to continue to just keep doing the same thing over and over again, getting up, going to work and stuff. And then if I get to a certain place where I look back on my life with regrets, like man, I never really did what I wanted to do. I was just going to work and trying to take care of this household, trying to live this American dream that everyone else put in front of me. Like, hey, have a wife, have kids, have a home, which is all great things, definitely accomplishments that I would like to have as well. But there are other things that, other goals that I have and that I've had since I was young that I always wanted to accomplish. That, certain things may have to be I may have to sacrifice to accomplish those goals and everything. So by 2023, I feel like, that's why I titled the project "Face Your Fears." I was just like, I'm gonna get back out there and I'm gonna, go as hard as I can with my music, still continue to take care of the household and everything. But yeah, I'm gonna do all I can to pursue my music. I'm actually in the process of actually selling my home at this time as well.
Oh man, big changes, big
Yeah,
changes.
yeah, yes sir, yes sir.
So where do you plan on going next with your music?
It's a great question. I'm definitely planning on relocating, but I just don't know where yet. Kind of pursue music, but just to pursue entertainment, just in general. I love to act. I love to model. I love what you do with the podcasting. I love to get a podcast going as well one day. Just kind of be in that entertainment space. To make a living off of that would be amazing. Would be like a dream come true for me, and like a lifelong goal. So. But I'm going to do my best to try to pursue that. Like I said, I had a long hiatus from about 2021 to 2024 where I wasn't really releasing music and everything. And I saw what it did to my life. And I wouldn't say it was completely negative, but it didn't put me in the best space. I wasn't as happy as I may have thought I would have been. So now I'm just like, let me go all in for this, for my goals, for my dreams, see what happens. If something doesn't happen, I obviously would just go back to, working and, trying to live the life I was trying to live before. But right now, I feel like at this point in my life, it's now or never. I think I kind of spoke on that a little bit on the project too, but yeah, it's now or never.
So you mentioned some other stuff, some entertainment stuff. What's your history with modeling? What's your history with acting?
I don't have any history. That's what's funny. Yeah. When I was a kid, my mom did put me in acting school. She always wanted me to act and stuff. When I was a baby, I was in like magazines and stuff like that. But that never really meant a lot to me. But to my mom and stuff, it meant a lot. So I know for like if I'm able to get on any kind of show or movie or anything, which I know is extremely hard, and there's a lot of people trying to do it. But I know that will make her like really happy and really proud and stuff. So and also another way to make income by doing entertainment as well. So I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. Like that'll be fun. And could also bring more fans to my music as well.
Okay. So let's talk about the family front. Because
Yeah.
you have a song, talking about your mom and how she's a superhero.
Yes.
How much uh do you credit your success to your mother and her working so hard just to keep you fed, to help make you the man that you are today?
I mean, I have to give her all the credit, honestly. She stuck with me like through a lot of tough times. That high school stretch was like really tough on her. I mean, days I would see her crying about me and stuff, just not really knowing where I would be. My father was incarcerated and different things like that. So I feel like she just thought that was going to be like the life for me. I was going in that direction. I was going in that path, and that broke her heart. But she always stuck with me. She never gave me away. I've seen parents send their kids places. Like, man, you got to get out this house, I'm saying, you to boot camp or something like that. But she always just knew what I was capable of and knew my potential even when I didn't know it, and continued to encourage me to do better, continue to pray for me. And yeah, it worked. She really stuck with me, and now we have like the best relationship, even though we had some rough times in high school and everything. So yeah, I would probably credit her, give her all the credit for where I am today.
Shout out to mom, man. Shout out to
Uh,
mom. So
Yes, sir.
of when somebody listens to Sean Brown's music, what do you want them to get out of it?
That's a great question. I feel like you're definitely taking the tour kind of through my mind and my life in a way, but I hope people can put themselves in my shoes or put themselves in certain situations when they hear the music. 'Cause that's what I like to do. J Cole's music, I'm sure, is very personal to him and everything. But when I listen to his music, I try to put myself in his shoes and stuff. He raps about college. He has raps about his father not being there, and I just kind of internalize that or personalize that in my own way. So I hope people can do that as well. I think I have like some bars like, they had a lot to say about me when I was down. They didn't think I would come up. I hope everyone can put themselves in that shoe. Anyone who's been an underdog and had people saying, you can't do this, you can't do that. Yes, you can. And when you do it, they're gonna be quiet. They're not gonna be talking about you or anything anymore. That may be personal to me, but hopefully, when other people listen to it, they can visualize themselves like that as well. I love it to work out to as well. I know you say you were running and everything, listening to the music and everything, but it's like like you're improving yourself. You're improving your health by working out. And it's like when you listen to some of the music and everything, I hope that people can get like some motivation. Like, yeah, I'm improving my life. Like people are gonna talk down when you are in a lower space in your life or in your lowest point. People will kick you when you're down, but when you come up, that's when people are either gonna be quiet or people are gonna show love and stuff like that. So just keep staying motivated. That's what I hope that people can get from my music. That just get motivation and also can personalize the music with their own lives.
Got you. Thank you for that. And I
Yeah.
want to talk about the pros and the cons of creating. So you can
Yes.
start with either or, whatever one you want. But what are some of the pros and cons, the highs and lows, ups and downs of creating music?
I feel like the cons, like I could put like a real like spotlight on you and everything. Even like with the social media stuff, like sometimes I try to be careful like what I post and everything like that, because things are like so serious, nowadays and stuff. Like sometimes I may just be trying to get a bar off, or something may rhyme, or I may think this may sound cool and stuff. But yeah, people may take it like really, really, really seriously. And yeah, it's kind of like the cons too. You kind of like I feel like underneath like a microscope when you put your heart and soul into something and then you put it out. That's not other people's heart and soul, so they don't care. 'Cause I don't care about the other. They may not listen, or they may listen a little bit. Like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that, or they may take it very serious. Like, oh, you must be doing this, you must be doing that because you said this bar about this and this that. So I feel like that's kind of like the cons to it, that you're just kind of underneath like this microscope and everything. And I don't feel like it's just not that deep. If you don't like it, just don't listen. But the pros is just getting a lot of that stuff off my chest and everything, and seeing the positive feedback from it, even negative feedback that is constructive criticism, I always take that as well. You know, I love that. People breaking things down, saying why this wasn't like this, why this was like that, why they like this, why they didn't like that. You know, that's all. Those a lot of pros that I appreciate. A lot of people giving me that feedback, whether positive, negative, all the good feedback, and then we just move on. You know, it's just music. You know, it isn't life or anything like that. It's just art, entertainment. So yeah, that's kind of the pros.
Got you. So this is kind of like at this point of the podcast, just an open-ended thing. Any shout outs, any things that you wanted to mention, anything that I might have missed asking you. This is pretty much an open floor for you to get your bars off in a sense.
Yeah, yes, sir, yes, sir. Definitely talked a lot about my mom already, but just wanted to shout her out again. Also want to shout out my aunt. She helped me a lot. I was on the news at certain points, and she was the one that submitted my music to get on the news and everything. So I want to shout out my aunt. And I also have some new music, hopefully coming out. I'm gonna be working on some new stuff. I'm hoping to get something out in a couple months, maybe another project. I definitely want to work on another music video. But I'm just trying to look around for some more videographers and stuff like that. But definitely stay tuned for more music, more content. Um, and yeah, just I don't know. I guess that's it.
Now hold on. Now, thank you for expressing all of that. But what's up with you being on the news? Tell that story.
Oh yes, yes, yes. I think it was 20. That might have been 2020 as well. My aunt submitted my music. She's like, hey, you know, there's like this competition like on the news where they say, you know, submit it to this email. I seen it in the commercial. I'm gonna submit your music there. You know, see what happens. And I was like, okay, sounds good. And yeah, the producer ended up emailing me. I was like, hey, you know, your aunt submitted your music. We loved it. We want to put you on the news. That was the first time I was on there. They put Titanic on there, which was really cool, especially like during the time period. Some of the subject matter that I was talking about, people could relate to, especially during that year. 2020 was a tough year for a lot of people. Then I was on the news again in 2021. I submitted the song that I did for my mom, which was a really huge moment. They were able to interview me as well. And then my mom was also in the music video, and she was able to see herself on the news as well. So that was like a really cool moment.
Big time. Sean D. Brown. Those are some amazing feats. Thank you for coming on the Cool Hand podcast.
Thank you.
You could check them. Absolutely, man. Check them out on all streaming platforms. And this is the Cool Hand podcast. Something you got to deal with. Easy.